work on making your business stand out from the mass with something like the experience or a specific technique or something that is different from the others. And then maybe number two is just being obsessed with it. When you're obsessed with something, you're going to succeed.
Hi guys, it's Holly here at Faces and welcome back to the Face It podcast. Today I'm here with the gorgeous Natalie, who is the CEO of Natalie Faccini Aesthetics. Natalie, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good. So just to kick things off, let's talk about your business then. So how did you get into the aesthetics industry and how did you build your business to where it is today?
So, well, I started about 12 years ago, actually, to work in the beauty industry. And then in 2014, I moved to Australia and I got to be a injector assistant there. So I started to kind of really navigate this world back then. And yeah, I just fell in love with it. And then as soon as I came back to the UK, I started to train here and I got all my qualifications. And yeah, it was very funny because I just started before the pandemic hit. So I got to do one client and then everything shut down. So I was so excited. I mean, I can still remember her name, honestly, because she was just my first client. And then, yeah, but that was actually great because I got so much time off to really kind of study and research and get into it very in depth, basically. So once, everything opened back up, I was so ready to start.
Amazing. Did you get worried that you were gonna forget your practical skills? Because obviously having that break from not injecting, particularly being a new injector, it's quite like a lot of time, isn't it, to not be practicing your skills?
It was a long time, but actually it was really positive for me because I felt so ready. I finally got some time off to really dedicate fully because when you have a job, you can't really save a lot of time to study and look into things very deeply. So for me, it was actually very positive. I was so ready to start when everything opened up. So it was good.
Amazing. And that just shows your true passion for it as well, doesn't it? Because I think a lot of people may have shied away from it, but you were like, no, I'm going to utilize this time to educate myself. And then obviously just made you more excited to grow your business, which is fantastic.
And then step by step, it just grew, obviously when you're obsessed with something, it shows, you need to be dedicated, obviously, but if you persevere and you're dedicated, it will work out.
Absolutely. No, that's great advice. With regards to growing your client base then, so obviously coming out of the pandemic, you're like, right, okay, I'm ready to go. How did you start to build that client base and, build those relationships to get your business going?
Well, I come from a semi-permanent makeup background. So I was working, as a microblading artist. And so I had a lot of clients already in that field. So they kind of moved over and started to do treatments with me. So I was kind of lucky in that way. Yeah. And then, word of mouth and from, a couple of a day became a couple of weeks and then obviously more. And so it grew pretty fast for me because I had already clientele from semi-permanent makeup, I think.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, I think that's always a real positive when someone from a beauty background or semi-permanent makeup background goes into aesthetics, because you've built those connections, you've kind of done the hard work in terms of building your client base, and now it's just a case of adding more to it, isn't it? So that's fantastic that you have that opportunity. With regards to your current client base then, what kind of clients do you tend to treat? Is there a specific sort of age group, or is it a really varied demographic that you tend to see?
I would say I have mainly clients between 20 to 40 years old. So I specialize in lips now. I actually completely stopped doing semi-permanent makeup. I mainly do personalized filler packages, which I love, but definitely more lips, specifically kind of my technique, which I call Italian lip technique. So it's just like my signature way of doing lips, basically. So that is kind of my niche and what I believe makes popular.
Amazing. So having left the semi-permanent makeup behind, is it something that sometimes you tap into, or have you just decided to like completely let that go now and focus on the
No, I completely let it go. I'm way more passionate about this industry. So I just focus completely on fillers and Botox and, these kind of treatments.
Amazing. And do you have any plans to add to your treatment list in the coming future? Have you got any more training coming up, or is there any sort of direction that you want your business to go in?
Well, you always think about expanding, probably maybe like established wise, so maybe grow or find a bigger place where I can have maybe more employees in that way. But yeah, otherwise, it's always very interesting, this industry, because it's always something new coming up. So whenever there is a new technique or a new product, or it's always something new. Now there is very popular this lemon bottle,
Yeah.
and then there's always something like new to learn. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just very exciting because of that, because it's not a stale industry. It's always something new coming out. So
Yeah, there's more science being backed, and so many more products coming out. And that's not to say
yeah,
that every single thing is going to be something that you'd want to try, but I think it's so important to
absolutely.
stay up to date with what's happening. And I think
Yeah,
as well, clients will go online and they'll see different things happening and new products coming out and new techniques. So I think my advice to any practitioner, and maybe you agree, is really speak to your clients as to what they want. If there's a specific treatment that a few of your clients have mentioned, maybe that'd
yeah,
be assigned to train in it. You don't have to train in everything, but just go with what
absolutely.
your specific clients need and what they're looking for.
Yeah, I definitely also specialize in very natural results. So I would never kind of take on trends that don't kind of resemble like my style. Definitely
Yeah.
not. But yeah, obviously you have to find your kind of niche. I think that's definitely like a tip that we give to people starting off, to kind of find your niche in this industry,
Yeah.
and yeah, be very passionate about it, and that will shine through.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think there's a lot of pressure to train in every single treatment under the sun and become like a master at everything. But then
Yeah,
actually, if you do that, you can't dedicate time and effort into those specific things, because there's just like endless training that you've
yeah.
done.
Absolutely. I believe, yeah, people always choose, to go somewhere specific to do their treatments, because that person does it all day long. So, it has more experience, and yeah, we just offer a better service, I think, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah, completely agree.
Mhm.
So with regards to the Faces app, then obviously you've used Faces for quite some time. You're
Yeah,
very much a loyal Faces user.
yeah.
How would you say Faces has helped with the organization of your business, but also the kind of growth of it as well?
Well, it's very complete faces. So when I started using it about 4 years ago, it was just a consent form app.
Yeah.
And then obviously evolved a lot. Now you can find a pharmacy on it. You can find, prescribers on it. It has finance. It's just like very, very complete. So it's just a very good tool for a business to have, because it has everything you need in it. But yeah, I would say I chose it because of the consent form part of it. Obviously, when you have paper, just so much you can store. So for me, it was just like a space saver, basically.
Yeah.
And but then it really helped me, because at some point I had a prescriber dropping out because she moved outside London. So for me, I just find a new prescriber on it. It was very easy. So yeah, it's a lifesaver for sure. I always recommend it as well when practitioner asks me, oh, I don't know where to find a new prescriber, or I need a consent form. It's just half of the things you need as a business owner, they're on there. So that's very
Yeah.
helpful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody? I mean, you kind of touched on this already, but what advice would you give to someone who's just feeling a little bit stuck within the industry? I think there are a lot of practitioners out there who, they are either new practitioners, or maybe they've been qualified for like 6, 12 months, but they're just at that wall where they're feeling,
Yeah.
like there's so much competition, they're not able to build their client base and just really struggling. Is there anything that you would advise them?
Yeah, going back on the niche part of it, I think honestly, you have to make the client's experience better than anywhere else. So not just like a technique, like in my case, where I came up with this like specific technique of mine, but it could be also like the experience they're living or like a specific gadget you give them at the end of the treatment, you know. Like recently, I've been to this restaurant called Flat Iron. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah, I have the steak restaurant.
Yeah, it's just like a steak restaurant, but way better. Like the experience, you know, you get in there, they give you like a basket of popcorn to eat while you wait for your steak. And
Yeah.
then when you leave, they also give you like an ice cream. So you leave super happy, you take pictures, put it on your Instagram, and just it's just a basic steakhouse, but they made the whole experience so much better. And they're always fully booked, and you know, something like that. So like if you just make the people's experience just better from the moment they come in, or just that extra attention, give them like a lipstick at the end of the treatment, you know, that can wear as soon as their lips are healed or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Just work on making your business stand out from the mass with something like the experience or a specific technique or something that is different from the others.
Yeah.
And then maybe number two is just being obsessed with it. When you're obsessed with something, you're going to succeed. Like if you go to the gym every day, you are going to grow those muscles up. I mean, that's just how it is. Of course, there is a bit of luck that plays a role. You know, obviously, if you're in London, there's a lot more people, and then maybe like a small town in the middle of the UK where maybe, you know, it might be a bit harder to start with. But at the same time, I think, you know, if you are very committed and you work hard and you put the time in, and, you know, sometimes you have to say no to that holiday, you have to say no to that concert with your friends, you just have to use it as a priority. If you put it as a priority, before or later, you're going to succeed 100%, honestly.
Amazing. No, that's such good advice. I completely agree with you. A friend of mine, she went to a new practitioner for some anti-wrinkle injections. And I said, yeah, how was how's your appointment? She was like, it's so funny that the first thing she mentioned was, oh my God, at the end, she gave me this cute little bag with a lip balm in and some sweets. And I was like, okay, how was the treatment? And she, like, and it's funny because that's the one thing that she remembered. And that was
that's what people remember.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, how was the actual treatment? And she's like, oh, okay, yeah. Started talking about it. But it literally is proof, like you say, those little things, which might seem like a small thing to you, those things are what clients love and what they remember. It's those little touches. It's spending that extra 15 minutes with them if they've had a bad day at work, or if they just want to like chill and have a coffee. You know, it's so important. And I think a lot of practitioners get so caught up in the fact that, you know, they're running their business and they're doing treatments day in, day out. But actually that client, that's the highlight of their month or their week. You know, they're stressed at work, they've got kids at home, they're having a bad time. So that hour,
therapy session,
yes,
for sure.
that hour is so much more than coming and getting their lips done. It's going into a nice clinic and speaking to the practitioner and offloading and just being able to lay there and get pampered. You know, it's so much more. But I think when you're running a business, it's sometimes you get caught up and it's hard to remember that. Would you agree?
Yeah, but this is what is going to make you stand out, though. Maybe have a treatment an hour long instead of 30 minutes, so you can really dedicate your time to that person. That client is going to be with you forever, you know, becomes your best friend. So it's very important.
Yeah. What kind of things do you do which kind of like make you sort of stand out from other practitioners, would you say?
I think definitely my lip filler services. So they are 1 hour long, which I don't think anyone has that long. No, but I literally like sit the person down. I sit down with them. I have about 20-minute chat. The reason why they do it, what they're trying to get out of this treatment. And I personally had my lips done many times, and with many different practitioners throughout the years. And you know, most of the time it was just like a lie down kind of thing, just lie on the bed and starting to inject. It didn't ask me what I want, how I want it, and nothing like that. So for me, I just really get to know the person, and trying to understand what they kind of want to get out of these treatments. And so yeah, it's almost like a therapy session for sure. So it's very long. It's an hour long, literally.
Yeah, no, it takes me back to my first ever lip treatment. I think I was like 19, and like the same thing. She like sat me down and like started injecting me. I was traumatized. I was like, what is going on? I was like, I've not even had the chance to like talk. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But I didn't, at that point, I didn't know any different. But having been in the industry for a long time now, I'm like, that's crazy that that even happened. You know, that like client contact and relationship building is everything. And that is what is going to get you your repeat customers.
Absolutely. And word of mouth. Obviously, when people have a good experience, they want to share with their friends. So that's how you grow.
Yeah.
For sure.
Your clients are your advertisement. That's it.
Yes, they are. So true.
With regards to social media, that's something which a lot of practitioners, you know, really struggle with. And I think these days it's really important to actually have quite a solid and consistent presence on social media. What kind of things do you do to help with that and to sort of help bring clients in via that route as well?
I feel like specifically Instagram, which is a platform I use the most, rewards you when you're consistent. I can tell now, but I can really see throughout the years, initially starting to post once a week or so on. Now I'm consistently posting once a day and, upload these stories every day, about 5 or 6 stories. So now I see, because I've been so consistent, as well with ads, I have an ad running every week consistently. And I feel like it's like Instagram sees that and kind of rewards you in a way because you've been using it consistently. It starts to show you to more people. Your ads start to perform better. So yeah, same thing as in the business. Same goes with Instagram and those platforms. I really believe Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, they reward you when you are consistent on them. So for me, yeah, I can really see the same ads I kind of paid for 2 years ago, same amount of money. Now I get 100,000 of views. Back then it was 10. It's like the same amount of money. Why? And I just think because Instagram sees me being consistent throughout the years. So
yeah, you know, it's a really good point, and I've never thought of it like that. But I think also with social media, you have to put yourself out there because people buy into people. Yes, of course, a new client is going to be interested in your technique, in your skill. Of course, they're having a treatment, but they're going to want to go to a practitioner that they feel like they know already, from seeing reels or seeing like you talking on your stories, because it's so much more than the treatment. Like we said, it's like actually going to someone where you feel like, okay, they're really nice, like I feel comfortable with them, they're clearly educating me, like, putting content out there, not just before and after pictures all over the place. People buying for people, and that's how you can really stand out, I think.
Yeah, and that's how you attract also the people, the clients that you like as well, because I feel like every practitioner has their style. And so yeah, for example, I really appreciate being natural and like natural results. And I always get clients coming in and telling me, oh, I chose you because you really look like natural. You don't look like you've done too much. And so I think that's also a really good way to kind of choose your practitioner. And if you show your face or what you believe in, that's the people that you're going to attract as well, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Amazing. No, that's really good advice. So moving on to regulation then, obviously we don't know what's going to happen, but we have had the traffic light system released from the government. This may go into place, it may not, but it's the first kind of thing that we've had regarding regulation. What are your personal views on what's been said?
Oh my gosh, I think everyone is waiting for these regulations to come through. Absolutely. I think, in my opinion, or what I am more happy about, or hopefully something will change regarding this, is training academies. Like, I really believe there has to be more regulation about training academies, because there's so many practitioners that have no idea what they're doing and they have not had good trainings. And just the fact that a practitioner can be a trainer after such a short period of time for me is mind-blowing. Like, I wouldn't even dream about being a trainer at this point in my career. I feel like I have so much to learn, and I've already been doing it for over 4 years. And you know, it's just like, yeah, it's mind-blowing. Honestly, I think it should be much more like, you know, entities that are very established that teach these kind of subjects, and not just anyone, you know. And another thing that really surprised me sometimes is when I get clients that, you know, had a bad experience, and they're like, oh, but that girl was also a trainer, and so the public perceives you that you're a trainer, therefore you must be very knowledgeable.
Yeah,
which is
yeah, and which is quite a natural thing to think, isn't it?
Yes, and no, because anyone can be a trainer, anyone can train straight away. And I've seen so many girls starting off, and after a few months of being trained, they're like, whoa. No, I mean, honestly, this is something that really needs to change, and so many other things, but this is definitely one that, for me, it should be number one, like, to change for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think if the training standard is set, and you have to be practicing for X amount of years before you can even consider being in academy, and these are the modules which you have to do, and it's all the same, that is gonna mean the practitioners that are coming through that training are at a higher standard. And you know, I hear horror stories. I hear, my academy didn't even tell me what a prescription is. My academy told me to buy Botulax from them. My academy didn't tell me what a vascular occlusion is. I hear all of it, and I'm like, what? Like, it's crazy and it's scary.
Mind-blowing, honestly. Yeah, so I haven't read actually anything related to this in the changes, but I really hope something would change. But yeah, I totally agree with the traffic light system, the amber, the reds, and the green. Yes, you know, I absolutely went online and I voted, and I agree. Everything should be a bit stricter. It's a bit too easy at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I think at the end of the day, it's to safeguard patients. It's to ensure that clients can go to any practitioner and feel safe, and feel like that practitioner is gonna look after them and is going to you know, treat them well, and you know, perform the treatments correctly and use the right products.
Exactly. Yeah, that you feel safe. Exactly. Yeah, so that's definitely goal number one for everyone, to feel safer. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, definitely, because it's just a minefield, you know. I think clients, like, there's so much choice. It's like, who do I know? How do I know my practitioner is like legit? Like, how do I know? Like, there's all these different things to consider. But I think it will make clients feel a lot more relaxed. I think it will mean that there are consequences for when things aren't done correctly, which is so important. And yeah, it's just so needed. It's crazy how it's just not.
I think everyone is waiting for this, so hopefully it will come soon. And whatever it takes, you know, to fulfill the regulation, we will do. You know,
exactly. Like you say, if you're obsessed with it, if you're passionate, you'll do whatever you need to.
Whatever it takes, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Natalie, it's been so lovely having you on the podcast. I've absolutely loved having a chat with you. So thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.